Okay, good afternoon, students. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is our first session, laboratory session of EWP. So the EWP is the electrical workshop practices. So uh, today I will introduce the course to you, and we will see how many experiments are there, what we are going to learn, how I will conduct the laboratory, what you need to do, what you need to submit, where to submit, and when to submit. Okay, then some introduction I will give you regarding this, regarding the experiments, and then some basic things regarding the electrical systems we will discuss. Okay, so students, first I will show you the course policy. Okay, so that you will have some idea about the credits and assessment. Okay, so my screen is visible to you, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So this is the course policy for your electric workshop laboratory 2EE102. So your course coordinator is Akhilesh Nimje sir. Okay, and I am your course faculty. He is the course coordinator. So now, first of all, I will introduce the course. So what is the importance of this course? So So this course is designed to give you the insight, means you should have the knowledge or some basic knowledge of electric systems. As an engineer, you're going to be a technological person. So you should have the basic knowledge of the technology and engineering. So electric systems are very important to understand, and it's majorly used systems. So everywhere you require electricity and to run your machines, equipments, gadgets, or the uh, any other device. Okay, so every device, every gadget, equipment, appliances needs electrical supply, electrical energy to run. So there are proper systems by which they can be connected to the electricity. So you should have some basic knowledge about that. And so we will see here how the electric systems are for residential industrial applications. So it will enhance the skill of your knowledge, means it will enhance the skills and your knowledge for the in this domain. Okay, so we will see the electrical troubleshooting and maintenance day-to-day practices. Okay, so what are the practices we can make for troubleshooting and maintenance of day-to-day electrical appliances? Okay, so it will also cover the construction, and we will also study the DC machine construction and working, and some basics of solar PV cell. Fine. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the objective of this course? So the main objective is, of course, is to enhance your knowledge in the domain and to enrich the concepts of electrical practices and to educate you to apply those in respective fields in day-to-day life. Okay. Then what is the course outcomes? So after learning this course, in the end, you will be able to identify and propose appropriate electrical and electronic components for relevant applications. Then you will be able to select and make use of various laboratory equipments. You will build simple domestic and industrial. You will be able to build simple and domestic industrial wiring systems. Then you will be able to apply basic maintenance and troubleshooting skills to household electrical appliances. Then you will be able to extend the awareness about safe practices in electrical systems. Now, if we see the laboratory details, so students, the laboratory is we have 11 experiments in total. Okay, so each week we will conduct one experiment. Okay, and one experiment carries 10 marks. Okay, each experiment carries 10 marks. So total 11 experiments means total 110 marks will be there. Maximum marks will be 110. So now how the assessment will take place? So there are two components, continuous evaluation and practical exam. So continuous evaluation weightage is 75% and practical exam weightage is 25%. So, here you can see 11 total experiments are there. So total 110 marks will be there, maximum marks. So suppose you obtained 90 marks from 110. So your marks, 90 marks will be given 75% weightage, means it will be calculated according to the 75% weightage. So what will be the 75%? If we convert the 90 from the 75, whatever is the marks is there, that will be the final marks. Okay. Then after this practical exam, marks will be given 25% weightage, and it is compulsory to appear for the practical exam. If otherwise, if you will not be pass in the subject. So practical exam is the exam which will be in the semester end. Okay, when the semester is going to be end, that one final exam will be conducted. That is called practical exam for this laboratory. So 25% marks are weightage are given to this practical exam. So now students, each experiment carries 10 marks. So the breakup of the marks is like 4, 4, 2. 4 plus 4 plus 2. Okay, so 4 means the 2 marks is for the attendance. If you are attending this session, when suppose I am conducting today experiment 1 and you have attended this session, okay, you are present in this session and you are involved in this session, so you will get 2 marks for that. And then 4 marks is for your the lab record submission and the question answers I will ask you. You need to answer it. So 4 marks is for the means the complete the combined 4 marks is for the question answers and the lab records. Then 4 marks is for the lab the your lab involvement. I will see how you are involving in the lab. You are responding. You are and means you are here or you are just simply sitting quietly and so how you are responding in the lab, that shows the lab involvement, and that I will observe and I will assign the marks accordingly. So don't Sit, keep quietly. This is my advice, and participate. Try to participate more and more in the lab sessions. Okay. Then these are the list of experiments. So week 1 we will conduct the first experiments, like week 2 in second, week 2, week 3 is third experiment we will conduct, week 4 fourth experiment will be conduct, like that every week we will conduct one experiment. And on the next session, till the next laboratory session, or till the deadline which is provided to you on LMS, you need to submit your lab files. So first of all, you get the password, username and password for the LMS as soon as possible. Okay, and everything will be available there. All the lab manuals, all the submission you need to do there. Okay, on LMS. LMS is Moodle Learning Management System. Fine. Any doubt? Any questions? Queries you want to ask? If you don't have the knowledge, I will show you how to, what is LMS actually. So this is the Moodle Learning Management System called LMS platform. So website is lms.nirmauni.ac.in. Login. So as soon as you get the password and username, so you need to enter here, use your username and password, and then you need to log in into this. Okay. Then after that, after login, you will find the dashboard, and on the dashboard you will find the electric workshop course. So in that course, you need to go, and all the information will be available there. So you need to do the submissions on that in this LMS platform only, and also deadlines you can check when to submit. Okay. Then lab manuals also will be uploaded there, so you can download the lab manuals from there. So all the information, all the announcements will be available on the LMS. So you need to regularly check your LMS accounts. So try to get the LMS username password as soon as possible. Okay, so there are some queries. Let me give the answers of your queries. So what I told you, students, is that there are total how many experiments? How many experiments total are there in this laboratory?
11.
11. So total number of experiments?
11.
11. Okay. So each experiment carry
10 marks.
10 marks. Okay. So breakup of this 10 marks is 4 plus 4 plus 2. So 2 marks is for attendance. 4 marks for your lab involvement. And 4 marks is for lab record submission, means lab file submission. And question answers. Right? So this is the breakup. Now you have in assessment, you have two components, continuous evaluation and practical exam. Okay. So this contains 75%, 75 marks will be there total. Maximum marks will be 75. This contains 25 marks weightage. So this is 25 marks total. Okay. Total marks are 25 for this, total marks for 75 for this. So how many you will obtain from CE and practicals? So CE marks, suppose in from 11 experiments. So total marks will be, my total maximum marks for 11 experiments will be 11 into 10, that is 110 marks. Okay. So suppose we are getting out of 1110, out of 1110 you are getting total 90 marks. Okay. So this 90 marks will be converted according to into 75 marks. Means this is out of 110. So now what will be the out of marks from 75? From 110 you are getting 90. So how many marks you will get from 75? So whatever these marks will come, that will be your final CE marks. Fine. Means this will be converted as 90, 110 into 75. Fine. Whatever your obtained marks divided by total marks multiplied by this weightage. Similarly, this is your continuous evaluation and practical exam. Practical exam means one exam will be conducted in the end of the semester. So that will be of total 25 marks. So whatever the marks you are getting from that, that will be the final marks. Okay. Means that will be the final marks for practical exam. Suppose out of 25 we are getting 15. So 15 is your marks. Okay. So 15 means 75 is the maximum marks for C plus 25 marks for the maximum marks of practical exam. So that's why 100 is the maximum marks. Fine. So if you are getting from 75, you are here you are getting 60. So 60 plus 15, 15 in practical exam. So 75 will be your total marks out of 100. Fine. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Roll number 33 asked this question. So it is clear to you. 33. Okay. Then some for submission, manuals and other related information. Check your LMS account regularly. Fine. Get the password and username. Students, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So now, next thing is how to prepare your lab files or lab records. Okay. So first you need to download the manual from LMS. Second, let me show you what to do secondly. So this is the LMS, students. I have logged in this LMS. This is my login account. So now this type of dashboard you will see in there. And here are the courses available that you are going to study in this semester. These are my courses that I am teaching. That is not your courses. But in your account, you will find your courses. Okay. So now suppose electric workshop, you want to see anything for electric workshop. So you can go to the electric workshop. Okay. There you will find all the things like this. Course policy available. All the experiments are available. Okay. So if you want to submit or download the PDF manual or want to submit your PDF lab manual file, sorry, lab record, so you need to go to that experiment. Okay. So suppose I want to submit experiment 1. So I will go there. Experiment 1, inside experiment 1. Okay. So in experiment 1, here you can see these are the files uploaded already, lab manual files. Okay. So there are 2 parts in experiment 1, so 2 files are there. Okay. After that, you need to submit, so you can go and you will find here your name with roll number, like here. Okay. Roll number with name. So here will be the option to submit your PDF lab file. Okay. So you need to upload your lab file PDF here. And I will grade the marks here out of 10. Fine. Okay. So now how to prepare the file, that I will let you know. 1 minute. See, students, due date will also be given here. You can see this is the due date. Okay, so you need to submit on or before the due date. Otherwise, your submission will be considered as late submission and your marks will be deducted. Okay. So suppose this is the lab manual. Suppose today I am means we are doing experiment 1. Suppose so this is the lab manual. Suppose of experiment 1. Okay. So what till next session or till the deadline which is appearing on the LMS, you need to submit your lab record of experiment 1. Okay, on the LMS only in the PDF form. Okay. So now how to prepare that PDF? So you can take all the things written in this lab manual. You can take same PDF of this from the experiment number, date, aim, learning outcome to this from here procedure. Okay. After that, if in the experiment observation table is given to you, so you need to fill the observation table. That reading we will take during the conduction of the lab. Okay, so I will conduct the lab, and in each week I will conduct one experiment. Okay, we will finish one experiment. So in that experiment, either I will show you the lab recorded video, or virtually we will perform the experiment. Fine. So readings will be available there, means we will perform. So readings will be available with you. So you need to fill the readings in that. Okay. Then if some calculation is required or to be asked, or it is asked that you need to do some calculation. So after observation table, you will do the calculations. Okay. So observation tables you need to fill in your own handwriting. Calculations also you need to do in your own handwriting. Then after calculation, if any graph is required to be drawn, so you need to take the graph paper and you need to draw the graph on that. And that will be attached after the calculations in your own handwriting. Okay. Then write the results. That also will be in your own handwriting. Then conclusion you need to write. Conclusion should also be in the own handwriting. Then there will be some quiz question given in each manual. So you need to answer the quiz questions also. You need to write these answers in your own handwriting only. Okay. Then merge both PDF, your handwritten pages, and this all page PDF. So first take this PDF and then take your handwritten pages and merge that files. Okay, and upload, make one PDF file and upload it on LMS. Fine. Any doubt in this? Any doubt? Any problem, students?
No, ma'am.
So your file, lab submission file means that lab file you are going to submit on LMS. That should be in proper order that I have discussed here. Okay, and it should be submitted on time. Okay, and it should be written in good handwriting, means I can read that. Okay, if these conditions not fulfilled, you will your marks may be deducted. Okay. And during uploading, means when you are uploading the file, so make sure you scan that handwritten pages in good quality images. Okay, it should be clearly visible. Okay. So now I will introduce some safety measure. Okay, because you are in this laboratory, you are going to work with the electrical supply, electrical systems. So your safety is very important, and for everyone's safety and for your safety, it is very important to know some safety measures. And without that safety measure, you will not be allowed in the lab. Okay. So let me share it. So take utmost care while performing experiments on 230-volt AC single phase and 440 AC three-phase supply. Okay, so you are going to work with either single phase supply or you will use three-phase supply. So the voltages are high, 230 volt and 440 volt. So you need to take care of that, and you should know that what kind of supply you need in your experiment, and read while coming to the laboratory, read the experiments and its circuit diagram well in advance. Okay, so you have some knowledge about the experiment when you are performing the experiment. Now, before connecting the circuit, arrange the apparatus as per the circuit diagram. Start connecting one after another. First connect the series elements, and then after you can connect the parallel elements. Then you should, while connecting the circuit, make sure that your supply is switched off. If supply is switched on, first of all, you need to make it switched off, then you can connect the circuit or you can modify your circuits. Okay, don't modify the circuit in switch on mode of supply. Okay. So once the connection is over, ensure that the connections are properly done, and show your connections to the teaching assistants or the concerned faculty. So the teaching assistant names are given here. Okay. So now if the connections are okay, it is checked by the teaching assistants. So in the supervision of the teaching assistant, you can switch on the supply. So all the resistors should be kept at maximum position and all the variacs should be kept at minimum position. Okay. Be sufficiently away from live exposed part or rotating part of the machines. Okay. So next is improper ratings of meters may result in danger. Okay, so be aware of that you are getting the readings in range or not. Then be aware of power shut off switches. Okay, know what you are working with and how to use it safely. Find out the potential hazards involved and the appropriate safety precautions to follow. Then loose clothing and long hair should be confined to avoid contact with hazardous material, equipment, rotating machine, or heat sources such as soldering irons. Okay. So keep the work area clean. Okay, so there are experimental tables. So don't keep your bags there. So you need to keep your bag aside while performing the experiment. So do not put anything on the experimental table. Uh, Only put the components and circuits you need to do with. Okay, so then open toe shoes or sandals are not allowed in the lab. All students must wear shoes, full shoes, covered shoes. So while performing the experiment, stand on the rubber mat. So there are rubber mats available and it's lying on the floor on each experiment table. So you need to stand on it only, stand on the mats only, because means to avoid any electric shock, you need to stand on rubber mat only. Then report any unsafe condition to the faculty concerned. Okay, if you found any unsafe condition that some switches means some short circuit is happening or something like that, means some switch is not uh, proper, some equipment is not proper, so you can report to concerned faculty immediately. Fine, any doubt till now?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, I
Yes,
have a doubt regarding submission.
yes,
You
what?
said that we have to make a PDF of our handwritten notes. So should we make a book for that in case we come offline? Will you be checking those notes?
You keep your PDF files in your laptops. Okay. Then if it is required, if you are coming offline and it is required, we will ask you to take printouts.
Okay.
And that time we will let you know that you need to keep it in book or not. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So roll number 32, if you don't have laptop, so keep it in any pen drive or any other memory. Okay. And if possible, you please try to get your laptop as soon as possible. If not, then you can do this. But I will suggest that you use laptop, because if something many things are not visible properly on properly on the mobile based apps. Okay. So means suppose if you are downloading the Moodle app in your phone, so many things will not be visible in that. You cannot access. So maybe you will miss some information, the important information. And sometimes it happens that some more errors or some other type of errors will come if you are using the app. Okay. So I will suggest that all of you, please go with the laptops. Okay, that is good for you. And if it is not possible, then you can use your mobile phones. Fine. Roll number 32. Or if you have the desktop PC in your home, you can use that also. Okay, other than mobile, if you have PC, you can use that also. Okay. So we'll take 10 minutes break, students. After that, we will start again. Don't leave the meeting. Okay. Be in the meeting and we will start after 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so let's start again, students. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these are the list of experiments and the map course outcomes. Okay, so one. Yes, so students, the first experiment is the identification of different type of resistors and capacitors and symbol used in electrical engineering. In this experiment, we will study about the different type of resistors and capacitors. All the basics about the capacitor and resistor, I think you know, is already studied in your school 11, 12. You know the formulas, you know the symbol, but what we will study here, we will study the means after studying this experiment, you will be identify the resistors by the physical appearance, and we will see what are the types of resistors, what and how we can select the proper resistor for our application. Okay, so you should have these knowledges. So, and these symbols are very important if you are working with any electrical system. So symbols are the basic thing. So, so we will study the symbols, the general symbols we use in electrical engineering. Okay, then second is the wiring, house wiring techniques, and the various other wiring schemes on experimental board. So on second experiment, we will conduct one experiment, an experimental board. Okay, and there we will understand how to do the house wiring and what are the other wiring schemes. Then third experiment is about the various laboratory equipment and their application in electrical circuit. So in this, I will demonstrate you the various commonly used laboratory experiments, equipment, sorry, and what are their applications. Suppose CRO. So uh, what is the CRO? How it means? I will demonstrate how it looks like, and what are the functions available on that, and how you can what you can do with the CRO. So like you can see your signals in graphical form on the CRO for the analysis purpose. Okay, so like variac is there. So what is variac? Variac is used to give the variable voltage. It can change the voltage. Through the variable, you can change your supply voltage. Okay, so like this, we will see various laboratory equipment. Then in the fourth experiment, we will see various electronic components and their applications. Okay, so we will study about diodes and the ICs, the MOSFETs, the transistors, all these things we will see. Then in the fifth experiment, we will see the soldering and desoldering techniques. And in the sixth experiment, we will see the miniature circuit breaker MCB and ELCB, earth leakage circuit breaker. So circuit breakers are the protecting devices used to protect our circuit like fuse. Okay, so we will study about that and we will perform one experiment. Then testing and maintenance of various home appliances. So I will give you the I will introduce how to test and maintain your home appliances like the uh, like tube light fan, electric iron, induction. Okay, so these things. Then demonstration and testing of various components in electric power panel. Then design of electric power panel. Then we will see the in the 10th experiment we will see the construction and working of DC machine, and in 11th experiment we will plot VI characteristic and PV curve of solar cell, and we will find the maximum power point efficiency of given solar cell. Fine. Any doubt? Any query? No. Okay. So now today we will discuss some basic things. So my screen is visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what? Tell me what are the three main components of the electrical circuit?
Resistors, capacitors, and um, inductors.
Yes. So resistors,
Voltage
capacitors,
regulator.
and inductors. Right. Good. So the resistor symbol, you know, this is the resistor symbol. This is the inductor symbol. Sorry, this is the inductor symbol. This is the capacitor, two parallel plates, and this is the inductor symbol. Okay. The formula you also know, Ohm's law, you know. What is Ohm's law? V equals to IR. Fine. What is the formula for resistor? R equals to rho L by A. Where rho is the resistivity, L is the length, A is the area. So resistivity changes with the material. Okay, what material you are using to make the resistor? According to that, resistivity will change. Okay. So in capacitor, you know that Q equals to CV. Q is the charge, C is the capacitance, V is the voltage. Now inductor, you know, L is equals to Xi I. Xi is flux linkages, I is the current. Fine. So capacitor can store the energy in the form of electrostatic form, that is half CV square, and inductor can store in magnetic form, that is half Li square. So these things you already know, I think. Now there are there are two things in the electrical system. One is the supply and another is the load. So what is the supply?
Battery.
Huh?
Batteries.
Yes, so any source of electricity which is giving electrical energy to the load, that is called the supply. So sources are the supply, okay? Like battery cell, okay? Then what is the load? Load is the anything which consume electrical energy. Fine? That is called electrical load. Any doubt? Any question you want to ask? So all the equipments, gadgets, appliances, machines which require electric energy to run comes and known as the load, electrical load, right? Fine. So supply is always given to the load. Fine. Now the supply can be AC type and DC type. Load can also be AC type and DC type, right? What is the meaning of AC? What is the meaning of AC?
Alternating current,
Yes. And what is the meaning of DC?
direct current.
Direct. Okay. So AC means you are getting alternating waveform. Okay. Once half cycle positive, half cycle negative. Okay. Then direct current is like constant. Magnitude is also constant. Okay. And it is continuous. And in AC, magnitude is changing at each point of time. This is omega. Fine. Similarly, we have AC and DC loads. So if the load require AC to operate, so it is called AC load. If load require DC to operate, it is called DC load. Fine. Now we have AC and DC. Okay, so now AC again we have of two types, single phase AC supply and three phase AC supply. Fine. So now what is the single phase and three phase supply? So in your house, what kind of supply you are getting?
AC.
Single phase or three phase?
Oh,
Yes. Can you give the answer? In your house, what kind of supply you are getting? This is very basic thing you need to know.
AC supply.
AC is fine.
Single phase.
Three-phase supply.
Three phase supply. Okay, your answer is three phase. Any other answer?
Single phase.
Okay. Write your answers in chat box. So roll number 58 is saying three phase. Roll number 33 saying single phase. 50 saying three phase. Okay. Then 31 single phase. Okay. People need to give the answer. Okay. Other people saying single phase. So the correct answer is the single phase. Okay. We use the single phase supply. We don't use the three phase, right? So in single phase supply, what is the value of voltage you will get? Your home appliances work on which value of voltage? Okay, 230 to 240. So actually the voltage level is 230 plus minus 10 volt. Okay, that will give the single phase AC. Means from 220 to 240 volt you will get. So your appliances will run on this voltage range. Okay, not less than 220, not more than 250. Fine. In three phase, suppose who will get three phase supply? Who require three phase? Where you will find you will find the three phase supply. Why we are not using the three phase supply in our home? Why we are not using the three phase supply in our home? So in single phase, students, what is the electric power? First you tell me. Suppose one resistor is there, and if you are connected one voltage source, I current is flowing, Y is the voltage and R is the resistor. So what will be the power inside consumed by this resistor? Here R is the load. R is consuming the electrical energy, so R is the load. Okay. So what will be the power consumed by this resistor?
I square R.
I square R. Okay. So electric power will be I square R or V into
VI.
I. Okay. And the unit of this power is watt or kilowatt. Either you can write capital W or small k capital W. Right? This is kilowatt, this is watt. This is the unit of the electric power. Now what is electrical energy? Electrical energy can be defined as, we can write as power into time. So I square into R into time. And the energy unit is always kilowatt hour. Fine? Kilowatt hour. So can you tell me the instrument used to measure the current?
Ammeter.
Ammeter. Voltage measurement can be done by
Voltmeter.
voltmeter. Okay. Unit of current is ampere. Voltage unit is volt. Okay. Now what is the instrument you will use to measure the power? Electric power. To measure the electric power, which instrument you will use? Which instrument? No idea? So it is called wattmeter. Fine. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now what is the instrument used to measure electrical energy? Yes. Any answer?
किलो
Any answer, students?
R में
That instrument is called energy meter. Have you ever seen this meter?
yes ma'am
Where? Where?
hmm.
Where you have seen the energy meter? You can write in chat box because your voice is not coming if you are speaking. In your house, there is one meter for, for which you are paying the electricity bill. What is that meter? That is called energy meter. It records that how much electricity you are consuming in your home. Fine? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so there is one student who is saying our house don't have meter. Yes. Yes, Vash. Can you unmute yourself? Yes, yes. So you are not using electricity? Huh? Yes, can you answer? So the meter records the consumption of electrical energy. Okay. So that is called the energy meter. Yes, I'm not getting what you are saying. Please unmute yourself and then answer. If you have any query, any doubt. Okay. Okay. So single phase supply gives you the power VI, while three phase gives you the power triple of single phase 3 VI. Okay. So if the power is consumed by the load is more, that cannot be fulfilled by single phase. So in that case, we need to give the three phase supply to that kind of loads. Okay. So in industries, the heavy loads are there, machines are there. Okay. So load is always calculated in watts or kilowatts. Loads are always electrical loads are always calculated in watts or kilowatts. Watts or kilowatts. Fine. So suppose if I'm saying that you tell me what is the total connected load of your house. This is your house. Suppose there is one house. Suppose your house is there. I'm saying that what is the total connected load of your house? Can you tell me? What are the load in your house? Can you tell me what are the loads in your house? What are the load in your house? the common loads of any house is lamp. Fuse is not a
Light,
load.
fan,
Fuse is
light,
not a
fan,
load. Yes, fuse is not a load. Fuse is a protecting device. Fuse is not consuming any energy. Okay, it is a protecting device.
light, fan,
Yes. LED, LEDs, lamps, lights, and other
fan,
things.
fan,
AC, geyser, okay, mixer,
Washing
grinder,
machine.
washing machine, refrigerator. Fine. These are the common loads that every means mostly people have in their house. So yes. So now I'm saying that what is the connected load in your house? So you need to calculate your load in kilowatts or watts. Okay. So how to calculate it? So there is on each appliances there is some rating plate. Okay. And there is one or there will be one rating sticker. On that it will be written that suppose you are checking for AC, so it will be written that this AC requires 230 volt, 50 hertz, single phase AC. Okay, then it will be written it will consume 1200 watts. Like this, the parameters will be written there. Okay, you can check after this lab. You can check any of your appliance. Okay, every appliance have rating sticker or rating plate. So this means this AC will consume 1200 watts. Okay. Likewise on refrigerator it will be written suppose refrigerator consuming 150 watts. Okay, like LED bulbs consuming 5 or 10 watt. Okay. So you can add all the loads, check you can check all the rating stickers and you can add all the loads. So that will give you the connected load. Fine. That will give you the connected load of your house. Fine. Any doubt? Okay. So suppose your house is having total 3 kilowatt of load. Okay, 3 kilowatt. So that is connected load. Means if you have added all the appliances power consumption, then it is called the connected load. But it may not be possible. Means it is not possible that you are using all the appliances at the same time. Fine. It is not necessary that you are using all the appliances at a time. Okay. So suppose from 3 to 4 p.m. it is not possible you are using whole 3 kilowatt. You will be using suppose 1.5 kilowatt or 2 kilowatt. Okay. Suppose 1.5 kilowatt you are using. You are using. So anything which is connected but not switched on, it will not consume any electrical energy. Okay. You need to switch on your loads, then only it will consume the electrical energy. Fine. So the energy meter in your home, the energy meter, how it records the electrical energy. So it records, it gives you the units. It gives you the units for which you are paying the bill. Right? Yes or no?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So what is the meaning of these units? So 1 unit means 1 kilowatt hour. Fine. 1 unit means 1 kilowatt hour. Means suppose if we are using 1 kilowatt of load, you are running 1 kilowatt of load continuously for 1 hour. So the meter will record 1 unit. Suppose you are using 2 kilowatts of load for 1 hour, meter will record how many units?
2 units.
2 units. Okay. So likewise for meter records the units, and in the end you will pay the bills for the monthly units. Fine. Okay. You're doing so. Okay. So these things are the means the power in single phase will get VI, and in 3-phase we will get power is tripled, so 3 into VI. Fine. So if the load are heavy loads means in industries, so they have heavy loads, so they consume more power. So it cannot be fulfilled by the single phase because there are some limitations of single phase. Then it will be fulfilled by the 3-phase. So in single phase we will get the voltage of 230 volt, 50 hertz frequency, and in 3-phase we get 440 volt at 50 hertz frequency. Fine. 50 hertz is the standard frequency in our India. Fine. Any doubt? So can you tell me the appliances in your home is connected in series or parallel?
Parallel.
Parallel.
Yes, parallel. So in the parallel, all appliances needs different voltage, or all works on 230 volt.
All works
Same
on total.
voltage.
Yes, so appliances need same voltage, but the current will be different for each appliance, right? Because the power consumption is different. So suppose AC is of 1200 watt and fan is of only 150 watt, and both are operating at 230 volt. So is the current will be same or different?
Different.
Yes.
Different.
Okay, so AC and fan will draw different current value. Okay, from the supply. Fine. So more consumption means heavy load will draw large current. Which will draw more current, AC or fan?
AC.
Yes. Okay. So more consumption, more current will require. And if heavy load is there, more current will require. If light load is there, less current is required. Fine. So these are some basic things regarding the electrical system. Now, can you tell me how the electricity reaches to your home? Anybody wants to give the answer?
Through wires.
That is obvious, through wires the current will come, but from where? What is the source?
Power station.
Power.
Transformer.
Yes. So power station or generating station, or we can call power plant. Okay. The electricity is coming. Okay. So how it comes? Power plant are very far from the cities, and you are living cities. You need electricity in cities, but these power plants are very far from the cities, like in hundred of kilometers. Okay, hundreds of kilometers they are far. So how it is? So it will be transmitted through the transmission lines. Okay. So the structure is like this. There are first generation of electricity will take place, then it is transmitted. Okay. So transmission will take place. Then it the transmission is through transmission line, and transmission lines are supported by the towers. Okay. Then it reaches the cities, and there it will be distributed. Distribution of electricity will take place. Okay. So to whom this electricity will be distributed? It will be distributed to consumers. Who are the consumers? We are the consumers. Okay. Industries are the consumers. Commercial places are the consumers. Agricultural people are the consumers. Okay. So everybody are the consumers. So these consumers are categorized into some categories. So first category is residential consumers. Then second category is industrial. Third one is commercial. Fourth one is agricultural. And fifth one is traction. Okay. So residential are the consumers like we. Okay. So we don't have any like if we don't have any commercial, or we are not an industry owner. So we are paying bills for our residential use of electricity. So we are the residential consumer. Then if the electricity consumed by the industries, so they are the industrial consumer. Commercial means shops, any office, any malls. So that comes under the commercial consumers. Then agricultural means irrigation loads, and for agricultural, the water pumps are used in the rural area. So they come under the agricultural category. Then traction means for railways and all. It comes under the category of traction. So likewise, there are three companies. The generation companies called Gencos, means the generation company. Okay. the companies which are generating the electrical energy. Okay. The companies which are responsible for the transmitting of electricity, known as the transcos, means the transmission companies. Okay. And the companies which are responsible for the distribution of the electricity, that known as DISCOMs, means distribution companies. Fine. So if you check your bill, electricity bill, have you ever checked that? Have you ever seen your
Yes.
bill? So there is
Yes,
one
ma'am.
company name written on the top of the bill. What is that company name?
Torrent.
Okay, so you are getting the Torrent is supplying you the electrical energy, means Torrent is a distribution company. Okay.
UGVCL.
Yes. So there will be some government companies, there will be some private also. Okay. Earlier it was only government companies, but now the privatization takes place. So now private companies are also the part of the system. Okay. So distribution company directly deals with the consumers. Okay. Generation transmission don't deal with the consumer directly. Okay. So distribution company directly deals with the consumer, and they are responsible to provide you to give you the electrical energy, to send the electrical energy to your home. Okay. Till means to give you the connection. Okay. To based on your requirement. Okay, they will check you are come under the residential or commercial category accordingly, or industrial. Accordingly they will give you the connection. You need to apply for the connection, then they will give you. Okay. So likewise, you are saying that on your bill Torrent is written. So Torrent is distribution company. It is distributing the energy, electrical energy to you. Okay. So maybe Torrent is purchasing the electrical energy from any other transmission or generating company. Okay. Torrent will be purchasing the energy from the any other generating company, or it may be possible that Torrent also generating the electrical energy. They have their generating plants also. Okay. But the directly dealing of consumer will come under the category of distribution company. So like UGVCL is there, Uttar Gujarat which Nigam Limited. Okay, like this UGVCL. Okay, so that is the government company. Okay. So every state have their own government bodies, and the private are also taking the coming into the picture. So how the generation and transmission and distribution takes place? Let's go for some technical things. So what are the type of generating plants, generating stations, power plants? Can you tell me? There will be thermal. Then how electricity is generated at generating station? So there may be thermal, there will be hydro plants.
Hydroelectricity.
Yes, there can be nuclear also, there can be diesel also. These are the conventional plants. Okay. Nowadays, solar and wind also coming into the picture, but I am talking about only conventional. Okay. So out of these plants, the thermal and hydro are mostly means they are producing very large amount of electrical energy, and nuclear diesel is expensive, so it is not used to supply large amount of load. Nuclear is Okay, but this involves uh, the nuclear fission reaction. So that is not good for, we don't have the technique to dispose the nuclear waste. Okay, so that is also not used, and it is very hard to control the reaction takes place under the nuclear reactors. So they are not used much. These plants are used, but not for the base load. So now thermal and hydro are used. So in nuclear, we use the fuel like uranium 235 or 238, and in thermal we use the fuel as coal. In hydro we use water, and in diesel we use the diesel. Okay, so now coal, uranium and diesel are the fuels, and they are, we need to pay something to get these fuels. Water, whereas in hydro water is natural source. Okay, natural resource, so we can use water. So this coal, uranium, diesel is, we need to pay the some amount to get this fuel. So suppose I'm taking the example of thermal power plant. So like thermal power plant, what happens? The coal is coming through the railways and to the plants, and there are the reserves. They will get the coal from the rain. Okay, so then after receiving the coal, there is a combustion plant chamber in which coal is burned. Combustion of coal will take place. So very large amount of heat will be released by this combustion. So that heat will be given to the boiler. Okay, so that boiler have some water. So that water again converted to the steam, and this steam will go to the turbine through some nozzle, and from this turbine the generator is coupled, which is generating the electrical energy. So when the steam enters the turbine, it expands and it will keep the force on the turbine. So turbine will move, rotate. So the generator is also coupled with the turbine. So generator will also rotate and will produce electrical energy. So which type of generator we use to generate the electrical energy? It is called synchronous generator in thermal power plants. Okay, so synchronous generator are the AC, produce AC three-phase electrical energy at 50 hertz. Three-phase AC at 50 hertz. Okay, and the voltage levels are 11, either 11 kV or 33 kV. Okay, at this voltage it will produce. It means these generators will give you 11 kV or 30 kV electrical energy. Now after this electrical energy needs to be transmitted. Okay, so there are long transmission lines. Okay, so now these generating stations are very far from the city. So if we suppose 300 kilometers far, so if we transmit our electricity up to this length, so losses will occur. Okay, so most of the electricity will go into the losses. So what we need to do? We need to increase, if we transmit the electricity at high voltage, so the losses will be less. Okay, so we need to increase, although this voltage is very high, but we need more, means और भी हमें high voltage चाहिए. So we need to install one transformer here, that is called step up transformer. Okay, it will increase the voltage level. How much it will increase? So what are the transmission voltages? Either you can use 132 volt or 220 volt, sorry, 132 kV, 220 kV, 765 kV can also be transmitted. Then 1200 kV also recently developed. Okay, so these are the voltages level. You can use any of, means we can use any of the voltage level, but with the development in the electrical system, the 765 kV that is called the EHV, extra high voltage lines. Then further development takes place and we have now 1200 kV of lines. Means this is called ultra high voltage. Okay, and these are high voltage lines. So you have might heard that there are high tension lines, that is transmission lines of high voltages. Fine. Any doubt? No? Okay. So after the transmission, the electricity will reach near the cities and distribution of electricity will be done. So all the distribution activities will be taken care by the distribution companies. So distribution again divided into two parts, the primary distribution the secondary distribution. Okay, so the electricity reaches at the high voltages like 132 kV, 220 kV, or maybe 765 kV, or maybe 1200 kV. Okay, so this voltage is very dangerous for all of us. Okay, so and we require only single phase 230 in our home, and industry people require only 440 volt. Okay, so what we will do? At the primary distribution level, there is substation, and at that substation, these step down transformers are installed. So what this step down transformer will do? It will reduce this voltage. Suppose 765 is transmitted, so 220 is transmitted, so 220 volt to 66, 220 kV to 66 kV it will down. Then again there will be the another step down transformer, so that will down the voltage from 66 to 440 volt, 66 kV to 440 volt. Okay, so now this all is three phase supply. Okay, in the transmission also we have three phase, in the distribution also we have three phase. So this transformer which is installed at secondary distribution, this you can find in your locality. Okay, this is installed in our localities. So we have 440 volt, the output of this transformer is 440 volt. Okay, that is three phase also. So means this transformer is giving three phase, means three wires will be there, and fourth wire is for neutral. Okay, and the voltage is 440 for three phase. And if we see the one phase to neutral voltage, that is 230 volt. So suppose this is phase 1, this is phase 2, this is phase 3, and this is neutral. So if we measure the voltage between phase 1 and neutral, it will be 230 volt. Phase 2 neutral, it will again 230 volt. Phase 3 neutral, it will again 230 volt. Okay, so in your home you require single phase supply. So the distribution company will give you any of these three phase and one neutral. Okay, so suppose this is your house. So suppose distribution company gives you this phase 1. So phase 1 will come and this neutral will come. Fine, neutral is for the return path. Phase is the main wire supply. Fine. Any doubt? So this is the home one. Suppose there is your neighbor, home 2. Home 2. Okay, so maybe there is a possibility they will get the same phase connected, or the company will give other phase, like suppose it will give the third phase and one neutral. Right? Similarly, some other houses are there. So they will provide either phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, depends on the company. Okay, they need to balance the load on each phase. Okay, so they will provide accordingly. Okay, so now it may possible that your electricity is not coming at at some day or some time, for some time, and your neighbor electricity is coming. So why it happens? Because maybe in your phase the fault will happen, and your neighbor uh, have the no fault in their phase. So their electricity is continuously coming, or your means your electricity is having some fault, so it is discontinued. Fine. Any doubt? And if there is industry, so industry people will get the three-phase supply at the primary distribution level at this substation, from the substation only. So they will get the three-phase wires and one neutral wire. All the wires will go to the uh, industry. Okay, industry loads. So their loads are also designed like that. They need three-phase. Okay, they require high power consumption. They will do. So they require three-phase. And our appliances are working on the single phase. They require the single phase connection. So one phase wire and one neutral wire will be given to you in your house, right? If anybody is having doubt, they can ask. Okay, somebody is asking what is phase. So actually phase is nothing. These are the wires, okay, in which voltage and current is there. Right? So suppose V1 is the reference phase. Okay. So it is AC only, AC type. Okay. So we can draw the waveform of V1. Fine. This is V1. This is the maximum value of V1. So other phase V2 voltage will also be 230 volt only, V max of value. This maximum value will remain same for the V2 and V3, but this will be shifted to one phase by 120 degree. Means these all phases are like in this form. This is V1, this is V2, this is V3. So magnitude of all these three phases are same. Okay, but the phase difference will be 120 degree. Fine. Similarly for currents in each phase, this is I1, I2, I3. So current magnitude will be same, but the phase difference will be 120 degree. Fine. So if we draw the voltage waveform for V1, this will be like this. I'm taking V1 as reference, so it is starting from 0 and going to this is pi and this is 2 pi. Okay. Now what about the V2? V2 is lagging V1. Okay. Vmax value will be same, but it is lagging by 120 degree. Here you can see. So 120 will be somewhere here. It is pi by 2. So somewhere here. So this V2 voltage will start from here. This value will be same. Okay. So this is V2. Now coming to the V3. So V3 is leading the V1. So maybe it will start. This is suppose pi by 2. So it will start from here something 120 degree. So it will start like this. Fine, but these value will Vmax value of all these three waveform will remain same. Fine. मतलब V1 0 से शुरू हुआ तो V2 उसके 120 डिग्री बाद से शुरू हुआ और V3 उससे लीड कर रहा था V1 से तो वो पहले से ही शुरू हो गया. लीड लैग किसको बोलते हैं? एनी वेवफॉर्म विच इज रीचिंग इट्स जीरो और मैक्सिमम वैल्यू फर्स्ट, दैट इज कॉल्ड लीडिंग वेवफॉर्म. जो भी वेवफॉर्म जीरो या अपनी मैक्सिमम वैल्यू को सबसे पहले रीच करेगी वो लीडिंग वेवफॉर्म, और जो बाद में रीच करेगी दैट इज लैगिंग वेवफॉर्म. तो हमने V1 को क्या किया, रेफरेंस ले लिया। तो V1 के रेफरेंस में देखेंगे तो V2 बाद में रीच कर रही है अपनी 0 वैल्यू को। V1 पहले रीच कर रही थी, V2 बाद में रीच कर रही, तो ये लैगिंग हो गई। अब यहाँ पे देखोगे तो V3 ने पहले रीच कर लिया V0 से, तो ये लीडिंग वेवफॉर्म। सिर्फ इतना ही अंतर है, बाकी मैग्नीट्यूड में आपको तीनों फेज में सेम मिलेंगे। राइट, एनी डाउट?
No, ma'am.
Any other doubt? Anybody? No doubt. So now we can end this meeting. Okay, so thank you so much. We will meet on next session. You can all leave the meeting. Thank you.